G'day mateys, Jackaroo Toro here. On this channel I focus on Australian Aborigines, their languages, cultures, history, and so on. But this is not one of the usual videos. When I had passed 333 subscribers on this channel, I made a video that I titled More Subscribers. And in the comments below that video, I promised to make another one when I passed 666 subscribers. So here we are now. Thank you for subscribing. And as I promised in the comments, I am not going to talk about the number of the beast here in this video. Rather, I'm going to focus on this word, Jackaroo. And why not also throw jillaroo into the mix? These are two words that come from Australia, were coined in Australia, but these days they are used both in Australia and in New Zealand. So I will get back to jillaroo in a little while. First, looking at Jackaroo, I would like to mention that there are two spellings that have been used since at least 1880. This word was coined in Queensland in northeastern Australia somewhere in the middle of the 1800s. And we have had two spellings, but since 2010 this spelling, the top one, dominates. So that's the one I'm using too. So this term was coined in Queensland. However, unfortunately, no one was standing around with a notebook, taking notes and writing down that today I heard a new word, Jackaroo. It was said by so-and-so and means the following. No one was doing that. Therefore, we don't know the etymology, the background and etymology of this word. And there are a number of theories as to what the background and etymology is. And I thought, why not go through some of them, which, as you can see, I have written on the board. So, first of all, it has been suggested that Jackaroo comes from an Australian Aboriginal language, from a word meaning wandering white man. Yes. It has also been suggested that Jackaroo is a variant of the American buckaroo, a word meaning cowboy, which comes from Spanish vaquero, with the same meaning, which in turn is derived from vaca, cow in Spanish. This one is a theory that has a lot of support in Australia, that a jackaroo is a jack of all trades in Australia. So roo, symbolizing or signifying Australia in that context. I'm sure people are aware that roo is the short form for kangaroo in Australian English. Yes, there are different theories focusing on that Jackaroo should be a nickname. One says that in the beginning of the 1900s, many immigrants that came to Australia were called Johnny Raws. Johnny got the nickname Jackie. Raws became Raw. Jackie Raw, Jackaroo. According to another of these theories, many men from the Australian cities and from Britain moved out to the Australian countryside in the early 1900s to work at the sheep and cattle stations. Many of them were called John, got the nickname Jackie, and they were raw. Here in the sense inexperienced when they came out into the Australian countryside. Yes. Another theory is that Jackaroo comes from to jack, roo. What is to jack in this context? Well, it is to turn the spit on which you are grilling meat over the fire. Something that has been going on and been popular in the Australian countryside for a long time. And if you are in the Australian countryside, why not grill a roo? Grilled roo is certainly tasty. Yes. And then we have the most authoritative, isn't it? Authoritative, I think so, body in Australia when it comes to words. Anyway, this one, and this is quite a mouthful, as you can see, the Australian National Dictionary Centre of the Research School of the Humanities at the Australian National University in Canberra. They have declined to make a decision on which of all the theories that have been proposed for the etymology for Jackaroo that they find most likely. And they have suggested a theory of their own as well. Namely that Jackaroo once again comes from an Australian Aboriginal word, this one meaning stranger. Yes, so as you can see, we don't know. In all likelihood, we never will. When it comes to jillaroo, no one was standing around with a notebook taking notes either, but we do know that this word was coined during World War II, when lots of women, of course, had to take up male professions. And so women started to work at cattle and sheep stations. And while no one was standing around with a notebook, the nursery rhyme Jack and Jill was well known at the time. So it is assumed that the word jillaroo was coined based on Jackaroo, since we have Jack as the first part here. So Jack was exchanged for Jill. Yes, and that actually seems quite likely, I think. I didn't know that Jack and Jill was a nursery rhyme until I looked up the word jillaroo, by the way. I thought Jack and Jill was a sort of bathroom arrangement. But that's how it is for us second language learners. We don't pick up everything. So anyway, Jackaroo and jillaroo. And this is what I intended to say about those words here today. Once again, thank you for subscribing. And if you have been watching my videos, you know I will be back. So, see you later.